Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. This is me, of course, again, coming with some honesty. Now, I've managed to get the widescreen finally, but of course, I started experiencing issues right before it began recording, so give me like 3 seconds. And, okay, here we go. So, this is going to be my final video for this year, unfortunately, but, luckily there's 365 days for 2018. Goddamn, the years are going by very quickly. So, there's a few things that I did want to discuss with you guys. Number one, my birthday was yesterday, so that was pretty fun. I also share my birthday with my parent, my mom. So, we had, our cute little annual stuff, so that was really nice. This year has been very rough for us, and I'm glad that we were able to close it on better terms than how it's been for the most part of this year. I don't want to really spend too much time on our relationship, but nonetheless, I'm very happy because, again, I don't have a dad. He is deceased. So I no longer have one, if that's a better way of saying it. And he's been gone since I was 14 years old. So it's really just been, her for the most part. So I'm really happy that we are getting back along because I was really upset for the time that we were not speaking at all, that we had to be that way. And it had to be that way in order for things to change, which they have. So, I'm very happy that has occurred. I'm pretty sure someone's going to be curious. As far as my other family members are concerned, those are still the same. Moving on, we're not talking, in other words. I do want to discuss some of the economic changes that are going to begin happening in very, very near time. Now, a lot of people have already been experiencing the new tax that is coming up for homeowners, and people are trying their best to pay their property taxes early, assuming that that's going to assist them in paying for less this new year coming because the law is changing. I don't think that is actually going to benefit them as much as they would hope that it is. A lot of times the last minute scrambling, that's the entire point. There are some offices that aren't even offering the service at all. They're closed because they knew that there was going to be a swarm of people coming in trying to fulfill this service before it was no longer available, if not more expensive. Bitcoin is also becoming a very prominent currency online. Now, we all know that the internet is going to be the new and improved and damn near only way to make money and profit in this world, and even our money is now turning over to electronics. One thing I will highly suggest to people, if they aren't really too keen or know much about Bitcoin, let alone investments or saving money, anything around that area, budgeting, shit like that, or if you simply have extra money in general and you're somebody who doesn't necessarily want to spend it, but you're not really sure what to do with it, and you may have people who just can't stop spending around you, here's what I will suggest to you. If you're somebody who actually is really good at saving or simply having money to the side at all times that you are really good at not touching, exchange the currency for Bitcoin. And again, our industry is already moving towards the electronic field. So some people may be worried because they may not be too familiar with the background of the company or how legitimate or how long the currency is going to last, or when is it really going to be an actual currency equatable to cash or a credit card. When will that point be? And Bitcoin is not as new as people assume that it is, because the word is starting to come around a lot more often. People are thinking that this is a new word or a new company. It's really not that new. It's simply just taking off now. So if there's people out here that are interested in investing or interested in finding out which direction money is going, or if you're just finding trouble with just finding any kind of information on what the fuck is going on with the economy, definitely look under different topics under Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is spelled BIT coin. So definitely look into that, because that is going to be the evolution of money. We still will have the existing other options to pay, but people don't even use things like, written checks or anything like that too much anymore. It still exists. Obviously, money orders still exist. Cash, cashier's checks still exist. They all still exist. However, they're starting to become a very weird circulation of how they're trying to translate these. So you can go to like 7-Eleven or Bank of America or a Western Union or something and get a money order, right? Now, if you get the money order exceeding a certain amount and you change your mind about what you wanted the money order for and you simply want your cash exchanged back, but a dilemma occurs to where you can't go back. Where's my mom calling me? As I was saying, people have a dilemma of, I hate it when people call me while I'm doing live videos. They do not understand how much that pisses me off. But of course she didn't know, because she's not subscribed to my channel. Unless that wasn't her. But a lot of people have similar phone numbers that call me. It's weird scam shit going on. People may have the dilemma of doing that. So just for people who are interested or curious or just want to find a new venture in life that actually may end up making them become a millionaire or a billionaire just by having these random ass coins, you may want to look into that. But as I was saying, now it's back to me. They may have a dilemma of not being able to return back to the store that they were originally at, or where they originally made the transaction. So if you got a money order for like $500 from 7-Eleven or something, and you can't go back to that specific 7-Eleven to make the exchange, and there is no like Western Unions or checking the cash places within range, you're kind of fucked. If it's not for a bill, you can't go to a money order. You can't use a money order as cash if you were like at a grocery store or trying to buy weed or something. They're not going to accept the money order. Even though it is a form of payment, you cannot use that. Which is crazy. And even crazier, I've gone to banks before, asking for specific services. Like I came into a bank with $100 bill and I was like, I just need change. I don't have an account here. I'm not asking you guys to do anything illegal or that will take away, as far as I understand, how bills work. But because I guess they still have to input a transaction into their system, that requires you to have an account. And you cannot receive change from a bank or receive any kind of cash exchange, period, if you do not have an account there. And the only way that they will allow you to do that, to do any kind of transaction with them, is if you make an account right there on the spot with the money that you're trying to exchange out. And then you have to wait 24 hours, if not more, in order to get the money pulled off. So just taking that into mind, money is going to be changing to virtual reality, basically. If you try to use your money in person, it'll work, but it's going to be very annoying to handle a lot of things. There's some landlords and there's also some PG&E places that will not just take cash. You have to have that on a certain formatting, even though it's still money. It still means something. So if people do not have debit cards or prepaid cards or anything that's technically an electronic form of monetary value, you're going to be fucked. So you should definitely look into Bitcoin if you're somebody who doesn't really trust putting your money onto, cards, or you may just have fucked off your credit so you don't really want to have any more cards. Think about doing things that way. I'm not sure if Bitcoin actually has tangible coins itself or if it's literally virtually online, period. But nonetheless, you should definitely try to look into different ways of investing for this up and coming year. Things are going to be a lot more expensive. Things are going to be a lot harder to obtain, and they're going to be harder to maintain. We just had the little fear of receiving the new bills thanks to net neutrality. Thank God it was repealed, but still, we're still experiencing the issues of the Wi-Fi throttling, of certain services simply not being available anymore through their normal networking. Because different things are going to be changing to make things a lot more difficult and expensive for the consumers. So again, if what you're doing right now is not working for you at this time, then one thing that you should definitely take into consideration is finding different ways to save your money. It doesn't have to actually be cash. It can be a different kind of currency. So, moving on, yesterday and today, because they are going to start enacting different marijuana laws in California and nationally, I've been seeing a lot of campaigns that are discouraging people to be under the influence of marijuana while driving. And I've also seen almost the comparison that the influence that you'd get, or the reaction, the high that you get from marijuana, is equatable to the intoxication reaction you get from being drunk. And that's almost in the same boat as being tired, because people fall asleep at the wheel and they can cause just as much damage as somebody who's being drunk behind the wheel. Now, I personally haven't heard of anybody using weed as an excuse as to why they've ever been in any kind of near fatal car accidents or any motor sport vehicle incidences. I've never heard anybody use the excuse as marijuana as to why they were unable or an accident occurred. That has never, ever, ever entered my ears. However, in this new campaign that they actually play on YouTube, I'm not sure if any of you guys have heard it yet, but a lot of the content that I listen to at times is about marijuana, or it revolves around political topics. So YouTube does filter specific commercials to my account when I'm on it. And I was listening to the campaign, just, waiting for my actual song to come on, not really paying too much mind, but still noticing what's going on around me. That the campaign starts out similar to like a smoking commercial about cigarettes, where they have the different people, and they're saying, I eat edibles and I eat edibles too, and I smoke weed and I do this too, but I don't do it behind the wheel, and I don't do it behind the wheel either. So high driving is now the equatable to drunk driving. So people are going to now face the same or similar, if not worse, charges for a substance that was already legalized, but now it seems like it was only legalized for the purpose of fucking people over. I've even seen online that they believe that the black market for marijuana is going to skyrocket this up and coming year because of a lot of the changes that has occurred with the weed tax and, licenses, all that shit. So things are going to be a lot more expensive for startup companies trying to get into the weed business and things of that nature. Shit's going to very much so change. My husband even told me that they're starting to charge, I think, $3 extra in the Bay Area for a certain amount of grams. And the way that people are complaining right now, they're making it seem like it's a lot more expensive because of the tax. But at the same time, I don't really like the idea of paying for marijuana, or even paying for water, paying for dirt. These things that we're being charged for, I recall some of these things being free at some point. I recall going on Craigslist a couple of times and purchasing or seeing soil online for free, or seeing certain things that now people are making billions of dollars off of, and it's just a fucking natural resource you can literally pick up off the floor. It at one point almost seemed impossible to find wood. Like my mom, she used to make like little artsy shit. She still does. And she would engrain different things onto like these little wooden, I'm not sure what to call it, but when they cut the trees down, they cut it into small slices. She would take those, and they used to be free. And She would just make gifts and laminate them and do all types of shit. Very creative woman. Didn't pass on to me. I'm just good with plants. Now, if I go online again on Craigslist and look for the same exact thing, just like free wood chips, free soil, anything around there that's related to free nature, it's not free anymore. Nothing is free. I was even joking yesterday that the radio stations that they play in cars is eventually going to be charged or simply non-functional anymore because it's too free. They charge you for everything else. Everything else. You guys remember the old Mercedes, how they used to have a phone in the middle console, and nobody ever paid that shit, but you can still call. And eventually it came a time where they did. Same thing with the Sirius radio. Everything was, convenient and free, diverse. And then one day it just disappeared. Like people were imagining that they were getting this free radio service. Same shit with the internet. They just tried to pull it. They just tried to, but it didn't work this time. But it's going to work eventually. People keep on allowing things like taxing the poor and allowing the rich to become richer to keep happening. No one's going to ask anymore or even let the public know about shit like net neutrality happening or different laws coming into action that's going to get you arrested if you do something that you've been doing for the past 20 years. People are going to literally disappear off the street because they are unaware of what the fuck is happening. A lot of people don't even watch the news, let alone observe feedback that people are trying to warn them about, like myself. Things are going to get worse. They're not getting better. They aren't. If anything, things are getting clearer for people who have been trying to explain these things to other people for decades. It's getting clearer, but we're still not there. So moving on, I have a lot of shit I gotta talk about today. About everybody coming up, I do want to warn people, because a lot of people suggest that, my channel, I don't only speak on here, I also exist in other areas, that I should take what I talk about to the next level and try to circulate my opinion a little bit more. My response to that is that I hear you. And I appreciate you saying that. However, almost everybody that has been speaking out against the norm are either incarcerated, dead, or heading that way, or on drugs, being threatened daily, shit like that. I don't experience these things. I'm not suicidal either. That too. People, well, it's still dead. People who are sane one day and simply saying what's on their mind end up disappearing a week later, and now they're suddenly suicidal. It's not making any sense. I don't want to fall into that category, and I'd rather, raise my son instead of someone else. So I want everybody to be aware of what the fuck is going on, and I wish more people would click on content than bullshit. However, that is not the way that we are trained to pick our interest. We're not supposed to pick things that are supposed to encourage development or make us smarter or simply move us from the maturity that we're currently at, from that state. That's not what's supposed to happen, according to the current narrative of America. We're not supposed to do that. We're supposed to make America great again, the way it was back then, how fucked up it was before. We want to keep on backtracking. That's the whole message that's going on. And all at the same time, We have black people online or on TV, on social media, sometimes saying that this isn't an issue, that this is not going to directly affect us, that we're for it, that all this police brutality shit does not exist. Gentrification, what's that? The jobs, the employment, it's apparently it's up. Things are still trying to be lied about. People are still trying to cover up shit, but it's not really working anymore. It's been too many close calls this year since Trump has been president, to where it's starting to become very hard for these high level elite people to cover up what they've been doing all these years, because other elites don't know how to close their mouth. They're now in a different hierarchical role that doesn't permit as much freedom of speech, and sometimes that elite doesn't care. And a result of that can be a couple of things. Number one, trying to maintain the system harder. Now, they have enlisted a couple of new people, one being Cardi B, of course. One can be Meghan Markle. These two women, black women, are both just recently gotten, well, I guess you can say they are in the running or in the process of becoming inaugural Illuminati hoes. Meghan is going to belong to the Brits, and Cardi is going to belong to the old white music moguls, if not already. They know that it's not just Meghan getting married or Cardi B just hitting number one. That bitch sucked. Her music sucked. Everybody watched it. Or at least everybody's seen a clip of her from Love and Hip Hop or on Instagram or whatever. People have seen her at least one damn time. And I kid you not, when I saw her the first time, I heard her the first time. Not her music, the accent that she was trying to push, the ratchetness, the attitude, all of the aura that Cardi B was supposed to be about. I heard it like in her first sentence. Before she received all the stardom, before even the white Illuminati noticed her ass to even be worthy of being a high level slut, before any of that shit, I knew where they were going to put that pussy. It was no secret. She was already ready to get down with the get down. She already got down with the low quality niggas. So now she can get down with the high quality rich Peckerwoods. She can complain about Trump all she wants to, but she probably sucked his dick too. It's nothing to these people. It's really not. She's not going to get in trouble. It's a lot of people that have been talking shit about Trump, and all he got to do is do that one little tweet, and they somehow lose their job or somehow get completely inconvenienced, and their whole life is over for a week or something, and they have to explain to everybody all the decisions they made in the past 20 years. This shit didn't happen to her. No. She didn't. She freely talks shit about what the fuck she wants to talk shit about. Her and Rihanna. And these women didn't come from, Rihanna came from a completely different background from Cardi, but still nonetheless, it wasn't the richest background by far. She was born in the islands, the Cardi was born out here. And long story short, they became hoes. Rihanna, the woman of the year, the hoe of the year, the slut cum bucket of the year, who also fucked Prince Harry, by the way. Hi, junk pile. Like, these are supposed to be the quintessential women that us black women here in America, here in Britain, here around the world are supposed to embody. Even a new reality show that's coming out in Nigeria called The Women of Lagos or the Housewives of Lagos is all black Nigerian women married to white Europeans. All of them. And the way that they qualify a woman as a whore out there is that they ever had sex with a black man. I'm not sure how all the shit rides in Nigeria, but it doesn't sound too different from how people evaluate wholeness in America. I did. I'm still checking everything though. I need to respond to it though. But a lot of your comments are, I don't know. YouTube is fucking with my shit, like I said. So some of the things will be there 1 second and then it disappears and then it comes back up again. It's really weird. I really hate where technology is going, how hyper vigilant the people who are watching me are. Even though this platform that I have is nowhere near the sizes of the people who they should be worrying about, who are actually creating issues for large populations of people. What I'm doing is simply encouraging people to think and evaluate the bullshit that we have to go through on a daily basis and wonder, do we actually need to do this? Do we actually need to travel, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the evening just to go to and from work for a job that doesn't even fully support your bills? And then you have to do another side job, a little app job or whatever to come up with the rest of the cash. And you think because you fulfilled all these hours at this job and got this little check and now you're in the clear for now, that you're doing good, when you don't realize one fuck up, all your shit's gone. This is the intentional setup. The intentional setup. Your parents aren't doing anything to really assist you either. Half the people that are in their 20s or 30s, or if not younger, aren't normally talking terms with their parents. They're not asking their parents for help. Oh, you are? Oh, so it's a reminder for everybody. Junk Pile Video is going to be having a live broadcast coming up. I might have to check that out and disappear off of mine for a little bit. It's on Saturday, Pacific time at 9 at night. Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out, Junk Pile. That seems like it's going to be something pretty damn interesting. So he checks my shit out, so I have to check yours out too, of course. Much respect. But still, continuing on with the bullshit. Of course I do. I would love to join the hangout. I'm sure that's what you were asking anyway. Of course. So yeah, I'm now going to be featured in another video tomorrow night, Junk Pile videos. So you guys stay tuned for that. I'll leave the link either in the comment section or he will regarding that. So also stay tuned for that. But still, this is the last video for me on my channel. I'm not posting anything else on here this year. This is it. I am not going to say anything else about any more bullshit going on from 2017 for the rest of 2017. This has been a very, very, very learning year. I really hope that at least by 2020, people come around to understanding things. Right now, people are just thinking that if they're woke, then they're aware of this, Black history. If they are conscious, then they're aware of the Illuminati and, political conspiracies about Kennedy. I just really wish that Black people were number one by at least 2020. Because what people don't realize is that white people are really fond of numbers, right? They were really fond of 1999 in the inputs that they put into their computers and the numbers. They really like numbers, odd numbers, or 666 or 11, adding numbers up. It's part of them. The gematria really is part of their soul. Now, what do you think is going to happen on 0, 2, 2, 0, 2, 0, 2, 0? And yeah, I'll definitely send you my information when I get off my live. Hang on. But yeah, it's just a thought. For me, I see how serious they are just with the celebrities and the numbers and, just docking certain things with the buildings, with the Las Vegas massacre, just in general. People know Friday the 13th, it's all a part of the same as company, umbrella of people. It's all part of the same ass intent. But black people sometimes, they rather swallow the left side of the pill and not the right side of the pill, not realizing it's all the same poison. You have to take it all in. You can't just pick and choose when you want to. You can't say, well, I like Rihanna, but this. No, it has to be what the fuck it is. You cannot say that you are, for the progression of black people and black development and be blasting Young Thug driving down the street. You can't do it. It's too ironic. People are going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with your faggot ass? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It really does not. So if black people want to be taken a little bit more seriously, then the least that they can do is act more appropriately and stop promoting and producing bullshit that would counteract that. And other black people who observe black people, engaging in this dumb shit, a great suggestion for them. If they know it's poison, don't buy the album. If you know it's some bullshit on the album, you don't need to test it out to make sure if it's clearly in your face. Don't waste your time. Buy junk. And also, in one of my videos a while ago, the name of the topic is the power of words. And I really do break down a lot of the music industry and the whole intent of lyrics and where the fuck that derives, even that connection to the Illuminati, and how a lot of celebrities and I guess you can say musicians try to warn us general public of what the fuck is going on once you get to that hierarchy. But we don't care about that. All we see is the fame and the popularity, and we don't see the price of fame and how much it's increasing. We see, these random ass white girls off of Instagram misbehaving and becoming famous, or bitches going on Dr. Phil and, getting their 5 minutes of popularity. And black people who really never really have much of anything, especially not camera time, see these people not knowing what's really going on behind the scenes. They assume that this is really a girl off the block. This is really a girl who has no ties with nobody. This is really a white girl who just came up with this idea on her own and just got picked up out of nowhere. And the Catch Me Outside shit was just all her idea. She just came on Dr. Phil on the right day and just now has an album. Really, black people? Shit starts to seem really weird after a while, and a lot of black people do not really like to address, like I said, the full truth. They much rather pick and choose when they want to listen. They don't want to take it all in. They can't take it all in because they can't handle the truth. If they could, a lot of things would not be occurring in the black community. Things like multiple baby daddies, things like drugs, things like still watching BET in front of your kids, things like your kids acting like the kids on BET, things like your child learning how to do things through her iPad instead of through her parent, because her parent's too busy either working or clubbing or drugging. And it's not to fault people who have jobs and try to sustain some type of livelihood for their family. However, we still have to admit that the amount of work that we put into to make $1 in America is damn near the same amount of work that a slave was putting in some time ago. Free. How close do we want to get to that line before finally the general public is like, okay, y'all doing too much? When is everybody finally going to say fuck work? I want to sit at home with my kids sometimes. I want to take them to the park sometimes. I know they have activities out here. I want to take them to one at least once. I don't want to keep asking my sister-in-law to do it. When are us black people going to take heed to these warnings that are so often in our faces? There's people who got arrested this holiday season for theft from toy stores and all types of places to try and make their kids happy because they know they did not have enough money or time or simply the ability to purchase items in their price range. And people are not realizing that they're choosing to take themselves away from their families, to take themselves really away from themselves for the price of nigga trinkets, for the price of 5 minutes on the camera, for the price of giving up your pussy to 20 different people so you can have fame, Cardi. How much do you want to pay? Viewers who watch me. That doesn't mean just for fame. That means how much do you want to pay to take care of your family? What are you willing to do to get through 2018? When are you going to finally put your foot down and say, you know what, this is fucking too much. I can't do this shit. And nobody should keep trying to do this shit. When are you finally going to say, fuck these sleepless nights? I'm tired. I don't want to work anymore. I'm sick of coming here from 2 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night. You basically live there. People will work like that around the clock every single day and not bat an eye about it. And think that's what they're supposed to do. We're not supposed to do this. We're not. If anything, if people choose to remain in California and they decide to venture into weed or simply be black around weed smokers, and drinkers, I wish you the best of luck for 2018. And honestly, I really wish I wouldn't have to say that, but the law is not here to protect you. Even though the car says to protect and serve, it's their community. You see who's driving the car. They don't live where you live. They patrol where you live. But they're not protecting where you live. You wonder why it takes so long for them to show up when you call? Because they were busy protecting their community. So, with that being said, I'm going to close it there. So again, this is my last video. So Happy New Year. Again, thank you for all the new followers and subscribers and all the feedback that I've gotten since I've started this channel. It's been really a great time. And I do plan, of course, to build my platform and post more and have more people speaking on my shit other than myself, like I always say. Oh, and before I go, this is my baby. It's gotten huge. Remember I showed you guys these a few weeks ago. They've gotten relatively big. But again, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.